So hello everyone and welcome to this week's Thursday Thoughts, and it's episode 17, and yes, we are recording it again this week. There are a number of reasons for us doing that. First and foremost, we had some comments from you guys saying that you really liked kind of almost the produced feel to Thursday Thoughts. So we thought actually what we might do is give it a go at recording and pre-recording Thursday Thoughts each week and turning it more into a show, maybe adding some visual effects and that kind of stuff. That won't happen this week, but what I want to do is turn it into something that's more engaging to watch. So anybody who knows me knows that I like to try and do everything to the nth degree. So let's give that a go. That doesn't mean the live sessions are going to go away. What we're going to do with the live sessions is we'll probably do more live broadcasts to the free account area on our website, which is login.techdataworld.com. Go and create your account there, and what we might do is do some like monthly Q&A sessions, or your questions answered and I'll come online and answer them, and that kind of stuff, which I think could be more valuable to you, easier for us to produce, and more engaging for you, which I think could be obviously a little bit more interesting to watch, rather than having the standard format of the TD Live kind of events that we're doing from the shack. And it means that we can take this gear out with us and we can pre-record from lots of wonderful places and venues, and maybe then gives you something a little bit more interesting to watch. So that's what we're doing. Not only that, this week, I'll mention it again later on probably, is we will be having dinner with the boys from Raytheon this evening. They're in the UK and they've kindly invited Claire and I to dinner, so they're coming to Chichester and we're going to go and have a nice evening meal with them, which means by the time this was supposed to go live, we'll be heading or getting ready to go out and meet Jerome and David for dinner this evening. So that's kind of where we're at. So thank you to everybody who sent in your well wishes when I was having my my teeth done last week. I'll put a picture up and you can see the proof that I was actually there. Always time for a selfie, so I took a selfie while I was there, much to the dentist's amusement. But yeah, I was in the chair for about 2 hours 15 minutes having the tooth drilled, and it was a couple of days of pain, but it's now perfect. We're back up and running like it's a proper good old tooth. So thank you very much for everybody for that. So I'm going to go through the news, some TDW news, and then some questions that we've had in, and anything of interest that might be coming your way. So this article I saw was I saw a press release that the US government is now urging all government sites to remove Flash from their websites. Now this is interesting for two different reasons. One is we know Flash is being retired anyway by Adobe, and two, it has had security flaws. And this week, Adobe, item number 2, Adobe has announced that they have released a major security update to Acrobat, to Flash, to Reader, to Experience Manager, those kind of things. So that is available over on the links below. I'll put the links down below. You can go and have a read of that. Sticking with the US government, I noticed that also that the US DoD is going to move all of their websites to HTTPS. Now I talked about this last week or the week before, and I created a tutorial on it, how that's going to affect websites, how that's going to affect maybe hosted solutions. I think it's available over on the members area, so go and create your free account and you can watch that. I think it's about a 15-20 minute kind of what is Chrome going to be doing with HTTPS and why it's important and why we had to update our website and why the DoD is obviously doing it for themselves. BAE Systems are to provide 250 touchscreens for the US Black Hawk. Why is this interesting? Because I think this resonates well with a message that was given in Seville, is it last year or the year before now? Somebody remind me. Is that you know, the lead guy from Airbus that was there was all about trying to make the cockpit a place where the pilots and the co-pilots and those guys are comfortable, and this is obviously one of those drives by the US military to try and do something similar. So I thought that was interesting. Thales and Airbus have announced that they're going to develop a new Spanish spy satellite, which kind of, to me, you know what I'm like? I like to try and connect the dots. The dots I was connecting with this is then, well, what about Galileo? How does Galileo play with this? They're using Galileo as leverage against Brexit at the moment. I'm not going there. And but the Spanish authorities are saying that they're going to develop their own spy satellite system. So anyway, link below. You can go and have a read of that. Number 6 this week, the UK halts the plans for the Type 31E. Now, the reasoning that they're saying that this has been halted is because there was lack of interest or lack of suitable bids. Now, I'm reading between the lines on this. The Type 31E was positioned as an affordable or cheap frigate, and you know, if we start saying we want affordable and cheap, what's one of the first things that gets hit is what we produce in technical publications and support information. We just get it done cheaply and quickly, and you know, regardless of the ROI that we get down the line. And I'm not going down here right now, but the reality is that there was a lack of interest from industry to develop it, as far as I can tell. And one of the stipulations of the contract was it had to be produced here in the United Kingdom. And I think that, you know, a lot of people just went, we were interested, we're not interested. How can you ask us to produce a low budget frigate and force us to produce it in an expensive country, I guess, is what I'm reading between the lines. So F-35 and 3D printed parts. We're going to talk about this at TDW Live this year. We're going to talk about how, you know, rendering at the point of use I want to talk about in terms of technical information, but Peter Studard's going to start talking about supportability and making parts available that you can print locally. And they're talking about, you know, cramp points and climp points and these kind of things, you know, ties and harnesses and that kind of stuff is what they're positioning on the F-35 program. They believe it's going to save hundreds of thousands of dollars taking this approach, which is something that's going to become more and more. When we were at Farnborough last week or the week before, there was some 3D printed capability on display, and it's fascinating. I think it's absolutely fascinating. And you know, soon what will happen is that manufacturers will say, here are our print diagrams, you can buy it off us and then go and license it and go and print all of the local parts that you need. Saves us manufacturing them, you manufacture them, but we still make money out of our designs and our intellectual property. And off you go, everyone's happy. So last week I mentioned that one of the Airbus directors said that he was interested in discussions with BAE Systems on a merger with the fighter jet programs. Me smells a little bit of politics going on here. There's been an announcement from Airbus saying they reject the speculation, they're not interested, and it's kind of recanted what was said a couple of weeks ago. And again, I'll put the link below, you can go and have a look at that. I thought it was quite interesting, and it smells a little bit political to me, but there it is. The merger's off, guys. Last week it was on, this week it's off. So Terma, I wanted to mention this because those guys have developed a new radar system for a patrol vessel, and I wanted to mention it is because I was up at your offices a few years ago, and it's a wonderful place. I remember it being really thick and foggy, and I nearly missed my flight on the way home because it was really, really foggy. But I met you guys up there it must be 10 years ago, 12 years ago maybe, that I came up and you invited me up and we sat and we talked about S1000D and we talked about technical publications. Finally, at number 10, I thought this was really interesting. It's an interesting article. Go and read it. It's from Rolls-Royce Power Systems, and I think it's their CEO has written an article on digitalization of information and how that's going to change support and the supply chain and how we support our end customers going forward. So go and have a read of that. I thought it was really interesting. I would love dearly to speak to this chap and, you know, get his some kind of interview or whatever. So I'm going to try and do some sniffing around and see if that's possible. But it's a really interesting article. Link below. Go and read till your heart's content. So that's my top 10 from this week. I thought there was lots of, you know, interesting stuff. There's been some new orders and some new aircraft sales, and there's been some other supportability issues raised on some platforms, but those were kind of the things that I thought was interesting. And maybe when we go forward, we'll do a in at number 10, you know, that kind of thing going forward. I don't know. Depends how cheesy I want to make it, to be perfectly honest. So TDW news this week, there is some interesting stuff going on. We've had a number of renewals this week and some of you have joined us on TDIQ. Thank you. If you haven't had your personal welcome from me yet, it will happen this week. And you know, it just proves that what we're doing with TDIQ is resonating with you guys, resonating with the industry. And, you know, from the bottom of my heart, I could see there was a need for something like TDIQ. You guys are now resonating with it, and I know that there's some of you are awaiting approval. You're working for large organisations and trying to get it through the approval process. You know, the price will stay the same, certainly for this year. We may have to review it next year because the content quality is you know, getting further and further up there. A reminder, some of you did send in a question. Yes, I will be at DVD this year. I can't remember the dates. I didn't put it down on my tablet here, but I've got a press pass, so I will be wandering around with this setup. I'll be walking around with my stills camera, and I will be taking lots of photos. And actually, I've got a question for you vendors out there. So we take loads of photos and we use them a lot on our website, in our tutorials, and we use them a lot in our articles, in our magazines and that kind of stuff. Would you be interested in a stock image service from TDW that was part of your membership? So therefore, if you were a member of TDW, you could have access to our stock photos and you can go and use them in your marketing material. You can download them high res and manipulate them and do that kind of stuff. Let me know if that's something that you want. We've had one request. I'm not sure I want to do it for one request, but if it's something that could add value to you and reduce your marketing costs, let me know if it's something that you would like. And, you know, maybe we'll do a tiered subscription for it. You know, you can download so many a month or whatever it is. I take loads of photos, and you know, we get asked if you can use them in your articles and your stuff. Let me know if that works for you. I've already mentioned that Thursday Thoughts, I want to turn this into a show. I want to turn this into something that's a little bit more a la Casey Neistat would be nice. I'm not sure I've got the personality for that or the style, but something that was a little bit more creative. So we are going to try that going forward, do some new intros, and, you know, like I said earlier, we'll go and do it from, you know, remote locations, or, you know, go to the pub that we used to go to. There's another one I've discovered down by the River Arun in Arundel, by the big castle. Might take you down there, that kind of thing. So next week I am in Cheltenham, and I'm seeing a customer up in Cheltenham, meeting their new marketing manager. So again, I'll take you with me, and maybe we'll do a vlog or a blog from there. They have some very interesting AR capability that I hope we're going to be able to have a look at and do something with, and you know, maybe report on and do something around that kind of stuff. So I'm up in Cheltenham next week. This week, actually today, earlier today, ahead of schedule, which is unheard of for a TDIQ course is we released a effective use of QR codes in technical publications, and we go through, I'll put the link below, you can go and watch the intro video, which is free of charge to go and watch, but we look at QR codes, what they are, how they're made, the types of different ones, where you can use them, how you can use them, where you should use them in technical publications, the ROI you get from them. It's about a 45-50 minute long course, and those we did run it by a couple of you. Those of you who like it, thank you very much. But go ahead, TDIQ subscribers, you can go and access that now. If you want access to TDIQ, give us a shout and I'm sure we can sort something out for you. So we didn't have that many questions this week, which was very disappointing, people. So are there any open standards that we can use to produce our technical publications? What you were asking was, are there kind of any British standards or CE standards or European standards? There are a couple. I've sent you a link. Did I send the link? I know I said I was going to send the link. I'm going to do a tutorial on that as well, because we had some questions in from Germany about a month or so ago saying, why does S1000D not conform to this standard? And why is S1000D asking for this, but this standard asks for this? And which, is interesting, because yes, there are other ways that you can do this stuff. And I want to talk about that in a tutorial. Maybe we'll make that one available for free because I'm feeling charitable today. So can we have access to TDIQ for free? Okay, now we get asked this all the time. We don't do any trial accounts for TDIQ. We don't offer free access to TDIQ. Okay, that's purely because the content that we produce up there, we believe is high value, and it delivers quality content to an organization, and the price that we charge for it, we believe, is exceptionally cheap. In fact, everybody who is on TDIQ, we get lots of great and positive feedback on TDIQ and what it does and how it does it. And so I'm not prepared to risk any of that content being misappropriated or illegally accessed. So TDIQ is a subscriber base platform only. There's no free accounts, because we make free content available on YouTube. We make free content available via our magazine. All you have to do is create a free account over on login.techdataworld.com and you have access to free content. But there is no plans to make either a trial account or anything along those lines available on TDIQ, because it's just, we believe the value is there, and those of you that have subscribed to it see the value also. And we need to be fair to those that do pay to subscribe to TDIQ. So I hope that answered that question. And but if there is a specific course that you would like to have a kind of a little sneak preview at, we can get Jamie to sort of extract a little bit and make it available for you to have a look at, if there's something specifically that you that's holding you back from making a decision. So a couple of you did send in your questions around the Farnborough video that we did. A lot of you watched it and sent in some feedback and liked it and thought it was a fun way of looking at Farnborough. But a couple of you did say, where is my company? Where's our company? We had a big table, we had a big stand, we had a big booth, we had a big presentation, we had a big display. If you've never been to Farnborough, it's freaking huge, it's massive. And I was only there for one day. Jamie couldn't come with me because he was doing some stuff back here for me, so I was on my own. I was doing the photography, I was doing the video, and in between all of that I had to have some meetings, and I wanted to do a little kind of piece to camera, and I ran out of time, so I didn't get round everywhere. So apologies, there was no kind of intent behind not showing certain organizations or brands or that kind of stuff. We got to as many as we could, and even I think you see even some of them that we did show, we only kind of glanced over them, like the Airbus and the Boeing stuff. We could have gone inside and we didn't get to BAE Systems, for example, and look at the new Tempest, and that was one of my regrets. I wanted to go and get some photos of that. So that is, you know, it's just a huge event, and we couldn't get around all of it in one day, or I couldn't get around all of it in one day. So next time round, I think it's in Paris next time round, but when it comes back to Farnborough, I will go for 2 days, and I promise you that we will try and get absolutely everybody on camera, and we will try and get everybody involved with that. So that's Thursday Thoughts, episode 17, ladies and gentlemen, and I would be really interested to get your comments and thoughts on, you know, are you going to be super upset if we drop the live? I know some of you do stay at work to watch the live at 5. I'm releasing you from that burden. You can go home early and enjoy life with a nice cold beer or whatever it is you do in the evening. I really want to try and make something that's a little bit more engaging and interesting, and we can produce it and then publish it on a Thursday. So I think that would be a little bit more fun for us to create, but for you to watch. So please do subscribe. I see we hit 90 subscribers on YouTube, and we haven't been putting a tremendous amount of effort into YouTube, so thank you everybody that follows us on YouTube. Please make sure you share and get your colleagues and your you know, suppliers and partners and those kind of things to subscribe. Not your wife probably doesn't care, or your husband probably doesn't care about what it is we're doing here in Technical Information, but you know what I mean by partners. And give us a thumbs up, send in your comments, send me your comments on the QR code course that we released this morning. I think you will like it. But until episode 18, ladies and germs, might do it from Cheltenham next week if there's enough news for us to do from Cheltenham next week, but if not, it'll be back here the week after. I will be in Germany, in Dortmund, where we will certainly be recording something and make it available. So until next time, I'll see you on the circuit. You know where I am, you know how to get hold of me. Connect with me on LinkedIn and that kind of stuff. Speak to you soon.